Hello there, good afternoon. Welcome to Weekend Central, live here on TV3. The bulletin is also streaming across the world on Facebook at TV3 Ghana, also live on DSTV channel 279. My name is Godwin Asidiba.
And I am Judith Brown. Coming up in the bulletin this afternoon. This afternoon, calls deepening for the declaration of a state of emergency over illegal mining fight after tragic death of 8 in Wednesday's helicopter crash.
And an evening of reflection and memorials to honor the 8 Ghanaians who died in Wednesday's helicopter crash will take place later this evening.
Welcome once again to the bulletin. We start from here. Now, more people continue to visit the Floral tribute site at the Jubilee House to lay flowers in honor of the helicopter crash victims. Let's now head to the frontage of the Jubilee House, where the Floral tribute is taking place currently. And Aman Komla Kluche is at the Floral tribute site and joins us for more. Komla, good afternoon. Talk to us about who has visited the place to lay flowers now.
Many thanks, Judith. Well, I mean, 72 hours or more after the tragic incidents, many continue to throng the frontage of the Jubilee House, and from a shot over there, you can see many of them still trooping, dropping the flowers and their wreath, all showing commiserations to the family, to the government, and to the people of Ghana over the tragic loss of the 8 people who died in the helicopter crash that happened in the Obuasi municipality of the Ashanti region. It's been one solemn, quite emotional one that has been characterizing of the whole issue. But if you look at the people who have been coming, many of them have had quite close contact with the people. Even those who do not have the close contacts, well, they've been expressing, their experiences with him. But for today, we have had, key figures in the country, traditional leaders, religious leaders who have come here to pay their commiserations to. First off, to pay his commiserations was the government chair, who was here together with his chiefs, who commiserated with the government and the people of Ghana, and also said, even though this is a heart-wrenching, heart-breaking thing, as a nation, we should stand united and not be broken and forge the fight, because they went on a national assignment and died in a line of duty. And in their memory, we must continue to do the work and the standards they stood for. Let's listen to the government chair.
On behalf of myself, the Ghana State, the Gadangbe State, we commensurate with all Ghanaians. We send our special condolences to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, President John Dramani Mahama, his cabinet, the army, and forces, ministers, and to the bereaved family, who we dearly know how much of our support and solidarity they would need for this moment. This should not bring division, but this should bring us together as Ghanaians. Let's all rally behind the families. Let's all rally behind the president. Let's all rally behind the party. Let's all rally behind the entire nation and stand this moment and mourn for the departed souls. It won't be Mawu Hejole Kehame. Won't be a dromo Keha Ame. Ngame Kebi ni Ashin Woku ni Ashin Fe. Won't be na hiame. Won't be na krame. Won't be na ha mehiwale wombi ni ahani ametri ato eja keshi ewa oncho igbeneno ken ha ma fe no ko oncho igbeneno ken ha me ake no ko shingmene gbine wodumo amese okay mamu fe infone ke ya fone ma yoyo ma gbingbang but our spirit will not be broken. Our spirit as a nation will never be broken. Our spirit will never be broken. We shall live. God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Speaking, indicating that.
We heard there the Manche. And Komla, you're still with us. We heard that Dasebre Kweku Boateng III, who is the Omanhene of the new Draben traditional area, has also been at the Flower tribute site. Tell us really what he's been saying.
Well, if you know, the Defense Minister, Dr. Kofi Omani-Boamah, hails from the Eastern region, Fredia specifically, and he is the Omanhene of the New Draben traditional area, and so it's quite touching for him, and he has been indicating that it's very depressing for him. He's had a very, very close contact with him, and this is a moment for him that he's equally mourning. But let's listen to what he has to say, and then we'll come back again to one person who also spoke just shortly with Dr. Omani-Boamah before he complained.
Danya miasi beda omani so ase efa aba omani to ya omudi nkunim na ye mia me de hie doctor osimasum kase Dasebre me tutu normal na meba ma be chiaw fofia to ata eni se san kwanhie yi eye nipa ngotwe a ba fe ka se omani heroes omudi omo kwan etwa so ma omani esre lemi fa due e ma manim die ma hodin a omudi bro omani ayene asem kase o asi esre nyame some form cra esie jojo may they rest in peace. May the souls of the 8 heroes who sacrificed their lives for the nation rest.
And Komla Kluche, you've been giving us more details as to really who are at the Flower tribute site. Tell us more.
Well, one person, and we've been reporting since Wednesday, that because the launch of the responsible mining in the Obuasi municipality was a multi-sectorial one, many people were scheduled to be there. Some were there awaiting the arrival of the representative of His Excellency the President, who was to be led by Dr. Edward Omani-Boamah. The Eastern Regional Minister, Rita Awate, said she spoke just moments before Dr. Omani-Boamah employed at the Air Force base. She was on the phone with him, and he assured him that in just about an hour he would be touching down in Obuasi, because the mining equally affects, the Eastern region, which she had to be at the program in Obuasi. Let's listen to the Eastern Regional Minister, Rita Awate.
In fact, I was in the same program in Obuasi. I spoke on phone with Dr. Omani-Boamah, being a leader, a brother, a boss, a role model I have followed throughout my political life. We had constant relationships. And on that day, I spoke with him around 9 o'clock, and he assured me that in an hour's time, they will be with us. That was the last time I spoke with him. We came here just to encourage the whole of people of Ghana, and especially we Eastern region. We know we have lost a man, a gem, a role model, somebody who has left a mark for us. His humility, his commitment, his dedication towards work will be a hallmark for us.
Kamala Kluche, you're still on the ground now. Gifty Dadzi, who is the National Prayer Director for Aglo International. We heard that she was also at the Flower Tribute site, of course, with a team or an entourage. Tell us what she's been saying as well.
Well, she makes the point that it is a very depressing moment, not just for the president, not just for the government and the NDC, but Ghana as a whole. But most importantly, the families they have left behind. And if we do not support them in the prayers, if we do not back them with the word of God, things might be difficult for them. But she remains resolute that because of the unity the country is enjoying, Ghanaians would hold hands with each other, look up to God, and pray for them. Gifty Afenyidazi is the National Prayer Coordinator for the Women Aglo.
It is true that your loved ones are gone. But it is equally true that they served a living God. So this God will not leave nor forsake you. So this God will be your very present help in this very difficult time. Let's all seek our God and we'll find him. I pray that they will not go into depression. They will not go into any unwanted mental state. That the Lord God they served and they are serving will keep them sound.
So then call me on the phone.
Yes, and we had the Gifty Afenyidazi clearly shaken by the news. She visited the Flower Tribute site. But of course, Kamala Kluche is still with us. Kamala, we know that this is just one of the items on the list, a long list of things we're going to be doing over these first 3 days. Tell us really what happens next after this.
Well, the statement released by government indicated that it was going to be a 3-day of national mourning. His Excellency the President declared, and today being the final day of national mourning, that is not to say that, the mourning has come to an end until the burial arrangements are announced. The country continues to mourn the fallen heroes. Later at 5 p.m. tonight at the forecourt of the State House, the Parliament House of the Republic of Ghana, there will be a vigil where recitals will be in memory of the fallen heroes, the 8 of them who we can see from your shot now. Like I did say, after that, then a program will be coming up, which the public is not been informed. The public is yet to be informed about. The families continue to meet, and we are told that probably from tomorrow thereabout, we could be seeing the first or the first Muslim burial for some of them, but details of that subsequently will be released. But government, we understand, has a very detailed cut out for want of a better word, program that would give them a befitting and some memorial of the sort in terms of a send-off for them, because burial would be a state one for them.
And many thanks for your time. Kamala Kluche is our presidential correspondent. He's been bringing us all the details as regards to the Flower Tribute site. And of course, do stick and stay with TV3. We are bringing you all the details as regards to the candle night vigil that will be happening later today at 5 p.m.
Absolutely. Two more stories. The Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Mines, Ken Ashigbe, has said that the tragic death of the 8 persons involved in the military helicopter crash should lead to an end to illegal mining. He called on President Mahama to use the opportunity of the tragic loss of the 8 to tackle the menace.
But you see, these are environmental criminals that we have to deal with. But we decide to look at it in other ways. His Excellency calls it a national emergency, but His Excellency will not declare the state of emergency so that we can deal with this decisively. My prayer is that the blood of these 8 gallant Ghanaians will not go in vain. Like the blood of Christ, came in and did some change. These people have sacrificed their lives for us. And so from the coalition, even as we mourn with this 8, the most important thing is their memories. The price that they have paid should ensure that these environmental criminals do not continue. That those that we know should be dealt with decisively. That those who are still, as we speak, currently in the fields on our water bodies and all of that, they need to be dealt with. Otherwise, we will be a people that will be described in very bad ways. You can have the situation where you have 2 ministers of state, a pilot,
Let's have a conversation on the back of this. Awula Sewa is coordinator of the eco-conscious citizens, and she's joining us for a brief conversation on this. Thank you so much for your time as usual. Where were you when you heard about this tragic incident?
Actually, I was working when I heard about it, and I was shaken like everybody else. I mean, it's a tragedy. It's a loss for the state. I mean, 8 lives. Each of them has their story. Each of them meant something very special to their families, apart from the rest of the community. But I want to echo what my brother Ken said, that we need to use this opportunity to say that enough is enough. I'm looking at all the people who have lost their lives, the children who have drowned in open pits left by the environmental terrorists. I think they are environmental terrorists. We are looking at the police officers who drowned, when they were actively chasing some environmental terrorists. We are looking at the Forestry Commission officers who have been attacked. A couple have been killed. Some have been traumatized. We are looking at the journalists who have been attacked because they were trying to highlight the canker of illegal mining. I'm thinking of all the journalists who have been attacked, but in particular of our brother Erastus Asaredonko and Ohimeng Tewia, who was almost left for dead, who is still suffering the trauma. I'm also thinking of the farmers and fishermen who have lost their livelihoods, those who have developed kidney disease. Kath has told us that the numbers of cases have gone up 4-fold. People are suffering from kidney disease as a consequence of the ecocide. So we need to say enough is enough. The farmers who have lost their living or at the risk of their life, losing their livelihood, 2.5 million peasant farmers at risk of losing their livelihood. The maternal deaths, I mean, I can go on and on and on. So let me stop here and say that the best we can do as a nation is to declare a targeted state of emergency, come up robustly against the environmental terrorists. We need to revoke LI 2462 and even EI 144, which declassify parts of Achimota Forest. And we need to investigate all those named in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report so that the message is loud and clear that no stone will be left unturned. We are very, very serious about getting rid of this canker. It has taken enough lives. It has taken enough lives. And we must all come together as a nation to say, history will not judge us well. Our children will not judge us well if the perception is that we stood idly by whilst we were poisoning the environment for them as well. If our ancestors had been as wicked as we are being, we won't have any forests left. The forest they have preserved for us, we are busy decimating the forest and poisoning our water reserves. I mean, signing our death warrants. So I would say that this is a marker. Enough is enough. Too many hearts are bleeding. Too many families have been ripped apart. Enough is enough. Let's declare a state of emergency. Let's get rid of the environmental terrorists and their equipment.
Very well noted. But I can recall on Monday, we engaged you on News Central when the Lands Ministry released a statement announcing this new program aimed at ensuring sustainable mining. And unfortunately, en route to the launch, we lost these 2 cabinet ministers and 6 others. Going forward, what do you expect government to do?
Well, going forward, let me say something about the cooperative mining scheme. You know, we had community mining before, and the government suspended it, saying that in many cases, it was illegal mining. As Professor Frimpong Boateng told us, even if you have a license and you go outside the parameters of your license, you're engaging in illegal mining. Unfortunately, it has to be said, the cooperative mining scheme, unfortunately, has the same fatal flaws as the community mining scheme in that the monitoring regime is poor, if not non-existent. So there's nothing really stopping those who have got the licenses from engaging in illegal mining, going outside the parameters of their license. So if we have, in honor of the 8 who have perished, we need to go back to the drawing board, employ the experts, Arocha and others, find out what the flaws are and rectify them. Because you see, we don't only have to think of them of livelihood of miners. What about the livelihood of farmers? Some of our farmlands are being taken over and mined on. We cannot have that, or we'll have no food to eat. What about our fishermen who are losing their livelihood? So if we really want to respect those, the tragic loss of our 8 persons and all the countless others who have died, we need to look at the community mining scheme and ensure that we rectify the flaws, especially when it comes to evaluation and monitoring, so that there are robust checks. And if anybody goes outside the parameters of their license, they are quickly dealt with. So it doesn't lead to the case of, for example, the Atronsu 5. Somebody came to Atronsu brandishing a community mining license, was engaged in illegal mining in that their stream, the only source of drinking water in Atronsu, was being polluted. The police were not being particularly helpful. I myself intervened on a number of occasions. To cut a long story short, it's rather the activists who have been charged by the police, not the illegal miners. The activists who are trying to protect their environment from persons engaging in illegal mining, even if they were brandishing community mining licenses. And that has been the pattern. The same thing happened to the Assembrom 10+1. So what we need to do is ensure that activists are not penalized by ensuring that the proper measures are put in place, and the lack of robust monitoring in the cooperative mining scheme, which has the same flaw as the community mining scheme, is immediately addressed. Otherwise, this will be no improvement whatsoever.
Always passionate about the topic, Galamsey. Thank you so much for your time. Awula Sewa is the coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens.
Absolutely. We'll stay on this tragic event. And the Progressive Intellectuals, PI, a leading think tank of scholars and policy advocates, have expressed deep sorrow over the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 prominent Ghanaians. Or the group noted that though the incident is a devastating loss to Ghana's governance and intellectual community, the government should not repent on its fight against illegal mining. Professor Eunice Dumbe is the president of the Progressive Intellectuals.
This moment of profound sorrow, we pray for strength, comfort, and healing for all those who were affected by this national tragedy. And we want to use this opportunity to appeal to government to think about immortalizing these individuals for the worthy cause that they were embarking upon to promote responsible mining. And we want to appeal to the government to ensure that we maintain the momentum and focus on fighting illegal mining in our various communities, and not more of like the despair by what the tragedy that our brothers fell into.
Of Sierra Leone and chairman of ECOWAS, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, was among the dignitaries who visited the Floral tribute site at the Jubilee House on Friday to lay flowers in honor of the helicopter crash victims. Christian Yale reports that government officials, former appointees and members of the public took turns to offer their condolences.
The second day of the Floral tribute saw high-profile guests, including the president of Sierra Leone, who doubles as the chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS, honoring the departed. Having laid a flower to the honor of the deceased, he proceeded to meet the president and signed a book of condolence in memory of the victims. Colleagues of the military officers involved in the crash came to show their respect, as well as families of some of the victims. Current and former government appointees, as well as some national figures, were also present.
He was a very good man. He was my personal doctor. He was my son. He was my friend, brother, everything. And it's unfortunate that he's had to leave us so soon to wherever he's going. But we will all be there one day. Lots of good people who should have been around to see the success of the second NDC.
I was very close to Dr. Mane. He was like a brother to me, and I knew Mutala quite well. He was a friend. And as for Samuel Sapong, he was like a big brother to all of us. Muniru too, we also knew quite well. So it's such a blow that such good people could die in such tragic circumstances.
The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete-Yohunu, and the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, also paid their respect.
All 8 of our gallant compatriots did not deserve this, and nobody, no human being, deserves what they have gone through.
Do you think the aviation sector needs a retooling, and the talks about the presidential jet, do we need a new one?
I will leave those matters for the investigative board that the president has commissioned to look into this tragedy.
I want to remember them not as ashes, but I want to remember them as how I knew them to be. It's not for me or for their family and children to remember their parents as ashes.
It was a painful moment. First Lady Lordina Mahama and even the Communications Minister Sam George could barely restrain their emotions.
We are comforted by the fact that these compatriots served our nation well, and they died in the line of duty.
One of the greatest loss Ghana has experienced in the last decades. So yes, it is different in that sense. I trembled because it could have been much bigger a calamity than even today. What we are seeing is just beyond of what we are seeing. But yes, it came as a great shock.
Christian Yali, TV3 News, Jubilee House.
Now, the Chief Executive of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Victor Bampo, has called on the country to keep alive the memory of the 8 compatriots who lost their lives in the Wednesday helicopter crash. Describing the tragedy as a painful moment for the nation, Dr. Bampo urged leaders and citizens to reflect on their contributions, draw vital lessons from the incident, and ensure that their legacy of service and dedication endures for generations. He spoke after laying his flowers in honor of the departed souls on Friday.
It has happened. I think we should learn lessons from it and appreciate people whilst they are serving. I mean, all of them were gallant Ghanaians who gave of their best, and they died during the course of providing service to the nation. And we should honor them, and we shouldn't forget them. This should not be something that we should just let go of easily. I can't purport to know Dr. Mane Boama more than others, but we had a close personal and professional relationship. So with Alhaji Muniru and also the other Alhaji Mutala. They were all very close personal and professional friends. And indeed, on the Tuesday before, 24 hours before this happened, we were all at the African Health Sovereignty Summit. And Dr. Mani Buama sat close to me. He was actually next to me. So I cannot begin to fathom the kind of pain that his family and other friends are feeling. I think this is a huge loss at the personal level, at the family level, national level and international. And I pray that God gives them rest wherever they are.
You're so watching Weekend Central right here on TV3, where we are still mourning the loss of these 8 gallant men. We're bringing you all the details. We'll go for a short break. Godwin?
We'll be right back.
When we come together, generations connect through love and legacy. In the present stillness, we see echoes.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Welcome back to the program. A candlelight vigil was on Friday night organized at the Takoradi Air Force base following the tragic Ghana Air Force helicopter crash. The 3 crew members, Squadron leader Peter Bafemi, Anala, flying officer and Chum Apedu and Sergeant Ernest Adu Mensah were members of the Takoradi Air Force Base. Correspondent Parkojo Peters was at the Vigil and has come through the Floral report.
What you are witnessing happens to be the candlelight vigil for the 3 gallant men who unfortunately lost their lives in last Wednesday's tragic helicopter crash. All the 3 belong to the number 8 heli wing of the Takoradi Air Force Base. So this candlelight vigil is being held in their honor. Family members as well as colleagues from the number 8 heli wing as well as men and women from the Ghana Armed Forces have gathered here tonight and they've lit a candle in their honor. Tributes have been read on behalf of these 3 gallant individuals. Let's take a listen.
To many of us, Peter was a skilled aviator. He was a mentor, colleague, friend, family man, and a consummate professional. His unwavering commitment to safety was evident to all. Most recently, in his insightful presentation at the 8th Wing Aeronautical Decision-Making Forum, where he analyzed the Calabasas crash involving basketballer Kobe Bryant. To the wing, he was a meticulous, unapologetic safety expert who loved flying. The only other thing he loved more than flying was teaching others to fly well and fly safely.
Our departed Sergeant Mensah Adu Ernest distinguished himself as both a professional airman and a meticulous aircraft technician. He answered the call of duty to Obuasi on 6 August 2025 with dedication and commitment. As we remember Sergeant Mensah's life and service, let us not mourn in sorrow, but celebrate the legacy he leaves behind. He recently got married on 5th July 2025, where personnel of Air Force Base Takoradi heavily represented, attesting to his affability. In helping to achieve the mission of the Ghana Air Force by delivering air power to meet national security objectives, Sergeant Mensah paid the ultimate price. He was dependable, determined, and trained to maintain the nation's air assets. He stood tall and resolute in the face of danger, protecting our freedoms and the values we hold dear. Today, as we bid farewell to Sergeant Mensah, let us safeguard our cherished peace, which is worthy of our utmost sacrifice. Let us also find solace in the knowledge that his sacrifice was not in vain. His memory will forever be etched in our hearts.
Base Commander Eric Yuenchi also had this to say.
This incident is a stark and painful reminder of the risks we accept every day in the service of Ghana. Let us draw strength from one another and let this moment deepen our resolve. To the families of these affected, please know that you do not stand alone. You are now and forever part of our military family. We mourn with you. We stand beside you, and we shall walk this path of healing with you.
Parkojo Peters, TV3 News, Takoradi Air Force Base.
Very sad moment for the entire country. I'll bring you now a profile of Squadron leader Peter Bafemi Anala from the Air Force Base in Takoradi. He was the pilot among the victims of Wednesday's helicopter crash in the Adansi area of the Ashanti region.
Born November 2, 1989 at Senesi in the Upper East Region, Squadron leader Peter Bafemi Anala was a man whose life was defined by service, a pilot whose skills and discipline carry the weight of the nation's trust, a son, friend, brother, husband, and a father to a precious 2-month-old child who will grow up hearing stories of a hero they never got to know. He attended St. James Seminary Secondary School, after which he proceeded to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He was enlisted into the Ghana Military Academy on June 2013 and was commissioned into the Aircrew branch on October 17, 2014. Squadron leader Anala brought over a decade of dedication and sacrifice to his country. On August 6, 2025, he was at the controls of Ghana's Air Force hovering Z9 helicopter, transporting senior government officials from Accra to Obuasi. The 50-minute journey ended in a tragedy when the aircraft crashed in the Adansi-Ekrufom district of the Ashanti region. All 8 souls on board, including high-ranking government officials and fellow crew members, were lost. For Squadron leader Anala, service was never just a duty. It was his calling. Colleagues remember him as a consummate professional. The family remembers him as a loving husband and a devoted father. The nation remembers him as one of its finest officers. Today, we are reminded of the ultimate prize of service. Squadron leader Peter Bafemi Anala's name now belongs among Ghana's heroes. His courage etched forever in our nation's memory. As the last post sounds, Ghana salutes a son who served with pride and fell with honor. May his soul find eternal rest and peace.
Let's now take a look at the profile of Flying Officer Chuma Mpedu of the Ghana Air Force.
Born on the 17th day of the month of January 1995, Flying Officer Manen Kwabna Chum Mpedu was a decorated Ghanaian military pilot with the Ghana Air Force. He is a proud alumnus of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where he earned a bachelor's degree in geography and rural development. After his tertiary education, he pursued his passion for aviation and service to Ghana as he enlisted into the Ghana Armed Forces on December 16, 2020. After excelling among his colleagues in the first few weeks at the Ghana Military Academy, he was selected to continue his military training at the British Royal Force College at Cranwell, United Kingdom, where he was commissioned in November 2021. At just 30 years, he was among the 12 newly trained aviators who had recently received their wings and aircrew badges after graduating from the United States Aviation Training Solution in Florida. At the time of his passing, he was serving as a co-pilot aboard a Ghana Armed Forces Z9 helicopter on duty to Obuasi. His colleagues remember him in simple, powerful words: discipline, technically sharp, humble in spirit, yet bold in duty. Beyond the uniform, Flying Officer Mpedu was a devoted husband to Naval Lieutenant Irajwa Kumi Chirema, a naval clinical health psychologist. His life represented a new generation of Ghanaian officers, educated, purpose-driven, and deeply committed to nation building. May his soul find eternal rest and peace.
And our Sergeant Ernest Addo was a technician of the Ghana Air Force and among the 8 killed in the helicopter crash. Here's his profile.
Today, Ghana mourns not just a soldier, but a newlywed, a son, and a brother. Sergeant Ernest Addo, a dedicated flight engineer with the Ghana Air Force, stationed at the Takoradi Air Force Base, Ernest was known for his quiet discipline, technical expertise, and unwavering commitment. He was the kind of man you could trust to keep an aircraft and its crew safe in the skies. On August 6, 2025, Duty called on him aboard a Ghana Air Force Haben Z9 helicopter, which was bound for Kumasi. He embarked on what would unknowingly become his final mission. In the Adansi Ekrofom district, tragedy struck. The helicopter went down and 8 lives were lost in an instant. For Ernest, the loss came just 1 month after one of the happiest moments of his life, his wedding. A future filled with plans and promises was stolen before it could unfold. His family's grief is deep, his bride's sorrow unimaginable, and his comrades' respect eternal. He was more than the uniform he wore. He was a man of service, of love, and of dreams cut short. As the bugle sounds and the flag is folded, Ghana salutes Sergeant Ernest Mensa, a gallant airman who gave his all in the service of his country. Rest in peace, Ernest. Your watch is over. Your sacrifice will be remembered forever.
And the Western Regional Security Council, led by Chairman and Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson, paid a solemn visit to the wife of Sergeant Ernest Mensa, one of the 8 individuals who died in the helicopter crash on Wednesday, August 6. Sergeant Mensa recently married his wife, Mercy Amwa, on July 5, 2025, making the loss even more poignant. Thomas Khan has more.
So, following the tragic loss of the 3 soldiers and other government officials, today we have the Western Regional Security Council paying a visit to one of the bereaved wives of the soldiers here in Cape Coast to commiserate with the family. We are here at the family house. Already we've seen a sad mood here where family members are already grieving and wailing. Led by the Western Regional Minister, commanders from the military, they are here to commiserate with the family of one of the wives of the soldiers, Sergeant Ernest Ado, who was one of the crew members aboard that helicopter that crashed on that fateful Wednesday.
So this morning we set out to come and commiserate with her, share a few words with her to comfort her and to encourage her that we are in this together. We are grieving. It's difficult for everyone. And to think that these are people with children, wives, mothers. You can't even imagine, how they're able to go through this. And so it's a responsibility of all of us to stand together with them, to support them, to see how they're able to pull through.
The Methodist Bishop of Cape Coast, Right Reverend Richardson Andam, who stood on behalf of the family to receive the delegation, also spoke well about Sergeant Ernest Ado because he was the one who officiated their marriage ceremony that happened exactly a month ago.
Merebo a book of condolence. Asama mekan in Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. Ubia ntumenti yankoponas. Onu so nyimza orye. No human mind can comprehend what happens on earth here, but God understands it and understands it better. Enti yenyina yenshezin.
So the delegation did not come alone. Also included the Air Wives Organization, who are wives of officers of the Air Force.
Yenyina yabuto because obia wa expected them why perform asem awiefo mu asɛm ayɛmhyehye nti no yɛn nyinaa yɛaboto but yɛntum yɛmbisa obiara asɛm yɛntum yɛmbisa nyame asɛm nti yɛgye no nyinaa mu ma nyame.
I want to use the opportunity to thank you all, the minister who stood in for our president, and then all the Navy, the Air Force, every security person who was here. I want to use the opportunity to thank you. I think your visit was very essential, and the family feels comforted. Pray that the Lord will take you back safely to wherever you came from. And then we are hopeful that the bond will continue to exist between the family and then everyone who was here present. We are grateful once again. Thank you.
Reporting live from Cape Coast for TV3, I am Thomas Khan.
Now, an event to honor the 8 Ghanaians who died on Wednesday's helicopter crash will take place later this evening. The event, dubbed Evening of Reflections and Memorials, will be held at the forecourt of the State House here in Accra. The 5 p.m. program will climax the 3 days of national mourning. President Mahama, his Vice President, Professor J. Nano Pokwajiman, Ministers of State, families and friends of the deceased, diplomats and people from all walks of life are expected to attend the event. The state funeral and interdenominational service will be held on Thursday, 15th August at the Black Star Square.
And we'll definitely be live there to bring you updates where my colleague Kemini Amano and Alfredo Kante, together with Judith N Studio, will be running you by as it happens. Away from that, statesman and renowned economist Kwame Pienim has asked President Mahama to ban all non-industrial gold mining for at least 3 months as the country mourns the passing of the Defense and Environment Ministers and 6 others. He told Beatrice Adu the accident is a litmus test for the president on dealing with what he calls existential threat.
It's with a heavy heart that we hear of this national tragedy. I think our condolences first go to all of us as a nation, to our president and head of government, and to him as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the security agencies, and of course to the CDS and its commanders, especially the Air Force commander, for their losses. I know Dr. Omane Boama. I saw him first as a young, very eager, passionate student trying to enter politics. Him and Honorable Ablakwa started out with us as NPP aspirants, very strong for democracy and human rights. And Honorable Munuri used to come here. He was probably more passionate about the second coming of President Mahama than most of the
used to come here in this house.
This house. He's a personal friend. He used to come here. So it's a great loss, nationally, personally. And our condolences also go to our friends and colleagues of the NDC. It is not easy to lose a political associate. So our sympathies go to them. And for me, the litmus test for the second coming of President Mahama is how he tackles and resolves the Galamsey issue. And the fact that these people of government and military personnel lost their lives in trying to go and listen and to resolve this problem is significant. It should turn all our attention to this problem. It poses an existential threat to the people of Ghana. We cannot continue to let Galamsey go on.
What is the most important how he deals with this one?
The existential threat to Ghana now, 2025, is Galamsey. It's polluting our waters. we've lost about 50% of the production in cocoa because people are cutting their cocoa farms to do galamsey. If you travel across Ghana now, it's disgraceful. All our waters are like chocolate drink, brown, dying. A lot of them are dead. There's no fish going through our waters. It's an existential threat, and the president should focus on it and resolve it. And this loss is a strong reminder that this problem needs to be tackled and resolved. We had suggested that there should be a complete freeze, a 3-month, 6-month freeze on all non-industrial gold mining, so that a presidential commission is set up to look into it, and once they come out, they will have social response. How do we solve the social problems from this? How do we solve the medical problems? How do we solve the agricultural problems? So it is critical, and this accident has forced all of us to refocus on.
And this suggestion of 3 months, you want it implemented immediately?
Immediately. It's an existential threat. When we say existential threat, it means if you don't solve it, the people of Ghana are dead.
Tragic event, Ghana has confirmed 26 more new cases of Mpox as of August 3, bringing the total to 328. According to the situational report released by the Ghana Health Service, there are no patients admissions, while death remains at 1. The situational report further noted that surveillance remains heightened. Mpox is characterized by symptoms such as fever, headache, swollen glands, and a distinctive rash. The general public is still encouraged to avoid close contact with anyone who has a rash, wash their hands often, and visit a health facility if they don't feel well.
Right.
Yeah. And that's how we're wrapping up the bulletin for today. But of course, we'll be bringing you an extensive coverage. It starts at 4 p.m. tonight of the candlelight vigil that's happening in memory of our 8 gallant individuals and men of our country who died in that tragic incident. Godwin.
Talking about this all the time always makes me want to cry, especially being on the beat and reporting from the day the incident happened, their arrival, to taking off their remains to South Africa for testing. It's just quite emotional for all of us, and that's why we keep hammering on the issue here on TV3. And just like Judith mentioned, from 4 p.m. do make some time to tune in so we can all come together and pay our last respects to these heroes. My name is Godwin Asidiba.
And I am Judith Brown. Thanks for joining us today. Stay tuned to TV3. Bye-bye.
Bye.
La 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 la.